start the show. Welcome your host for Below Deck, Molly Lampworth, and an host
Whoa. Whoa.
We're just swimming.
The
Are we
boat
not?
is rocking.
The boat is rocking. I love a good rocking boat. Oh, heck yeah. Well, we are here. Le Deckheads, Chief Stews. That's right, we all French. We are not technically in the French region at this point, but details, you know?
Le Deckheads.
You guys might notice we have cool new, what are these things called? Borders. We upgraded. Cool, huh? Pretty cool. We also, I don't know if this will, I mean, I can do a quick test, but if you follow us, something fun happens. So if you are watching and you don't currently follow us, that's a shame, and you should hit follow. I don't know where it is. I think it's probably down here. So, you know, how could you say, oh, there you go. Louder Pastures is now following. Actually, we have to turn this down so they can hear unfortunately didn't we have a sound bite to it as well. But hey, if you're also watching us and not following, now's the time to hit follow, baby. We'll shout you out. I believe Louding Pastures followed us. Sorry if I missed it. It went by quick. Louding? I apologize.
Welcome to the Cheap Stews family.
Yes, welcome. I wish we had oh, I like that. That's the McConnor Talk. Thank you for following McConnor Talk. I hope you guys like that Boats and Hoes snippet we pulled from Step Brothers as part of our new following. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Those boats can also be part of our new segment about cursed boats.
Oh, Santa Maria. Also, what's the one in Long Beach? The St. Anne?
The Queen Mary.
Queen Mary. There we go.
Queen Mary is cursed.
Queen Mary is cursed. Yeah, I believe my partner Zachary, whose voice you heard in the intro, had his prom there.
Wow, ghost prom.
Ghost prom, if I've ever heard or seen. Wow.
And of course, this week, everyone, not just Deckheads, but everyone in the world has been talking about boats.
Yep. We had one of our biggest boats, if you will, the Evergreen. Yes, Molly and I own the Evergreen.
We just invested on a whim. We we said, wouldn't it be fun to own a boat together, like a really big cargo ship?
Yeah. And, you know, we went in, you know, blindfolded. We kind of really didn't understand what was going to happen. And, yeah, we had a bit of a situation this week with it.
You live, you learn.
Yeah. Now we know you can't do a 5-point turn in the Suez Canal. Okay, sorry. News to us.
We all learned a lot. One of our fans is saying, I'm so sorry, but she's named the Ever Given. Thank you. Fact check.
There you go. You're right. The Ever
Thanks
Given.
for the fans for keeping us honest. One thing's for sure, she's a big old boat.
She's a big old boat.
Real stuck for like a week, and everybody was obsessed with it because it was amazing, but it also just kind of like stopped capitalism accidentally, which is fun. It's really fun.
Look, I'm not opposed to it. I definitely I thought it was funny how this just boat getting stuck shook the world.
Yeah, I love when something stupid just shows how fallible all of our systems are.
Yep.
everything I know about boating comes from watching Below Deck, obviously.
Same.
But everything I know about cargo shipping comes from season 2 of The Wire.
Same. Oh my God, we were meant to start the show together.
We were meant to start a podcast about
Yeah.
boats.
Yeah.
Someone says, the boat is an anti-capitalist girl boss, seafaring queen.
Tell me
Agreed.
about it. Snaps to that girl.
People were
man.
also saying that the boat was freed by the full moon, that none of the human efforts to free the boat worked at all. But the worm moon, which is the name of the full moon we had yesterday, because it's when all the worms come out of the dirt because it gets warm enough and it's springtime.
Interesting.
So the worm moon brought high tide, and that is what freed the boat.
Yeah,
But I like to think it's the worms that got the boat stuck in the first place, because worms are the true girl bosses.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter Ashley Ray at Ray, I believe her handle has changed, but she tweeted that this proves astrology is real. So all you haters, astrology freed the boat.
It definitely proves that the moon is more powerful than any human being, which, you know, the ultimate girl boss is the moon.
Yes,
you know, can't be defeated. I also learned yesterday, because the coyotes were all howling at the full moon, as you may have heard happens in the song Colors of the Wind. It is true. They do that. They howl at the moon. And I've seen it happen a few times. I live in a mountain area where there's a whole pack of coyotes.
Ooh.
They howl at the full moon. I wanted to know why. It turns out it's because they can hunt better when there's more light at night. So when there's a full moon, they're like, hey, what's up? What's up? Where are my friends? Let's all go get some dinner together.
Keep your cats inside, everybody.
Keep your cats inside, especially on a full moon. I feel like cats, maybe also dogs, would love to know Ace's opinion on this. Go a little crazy also during the full moon.
You know what? He did vomit last night. Maybe it was full moon based.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just feeling so much relief about the boat getting freed.
I know. He really cares. He really cares about capitalism. He's a big capitalist dog. Go ahead.
Chatter Coon on the Cob says, didn't Countess Luann's first husband's family the one who built the Suez Canal? Definitely need Luann's opinion. That is so interesting. I do vaguely remember Luann talking about how they helped build the Suez Canal and not really knowing anything about the Suez Canal, except that it's like a meme of old.
I vaguely remember that too. I'll have to go back. By the way, the new season trailer for Roni, Real Housewives of New York, looks fun.
Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer yet. I'll definitely do that after this. But today there was also some huge Bravo celebrity news, which is that newbie Real Housewife of Salt Lake City, Jen Shah, has a crazy RICO charge.
Yeah, let's just say we were all asking, where did all that money come from? They were so rich.
I think that's something I ask about a lot of the Real Housewives.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it turns out to be not
a RICO charge.
Turns out to be ill-gotten somehow.
Yeah.
Whether it be scamming people with a telemarketing money laundering scheme, as Jen Shah has been accused of doing, or whatever Luann's family was doing with the Suez Canal. I'm sure somebody got exploited real bad.
Right. So I do want to say, in one of the reunion episodes, Jen Shah basically told us she runs a scam marketing business where she was like, I take people's info and I kind of sell it. And that's like why when you're talking and then you get an ad, that's what I do. And I'm like, you're a scammer. I knew in that moment, I was like, oh my God, she's the really shady marketing person. That's where she makes her money. Now cut to her and main assistant Stuart, that older white gentleman that's always with her, one of her assistants, is part of the scam.
Oh my God. Wow. See, Scamming, there's so many scammers. I love a show called American Greed that I'd like to recommend to everybody. That's just a true crime show about white collar crime. And it's all stuff like that. It's all just like Ponzi schemes, telemarketing
Love that.
scams, various hustlers. And they all do the most fucked up stuff and then they get like no jail time for it. Truly a rich person's paradise, just scamming and jamming.
You know what? I'm not like opposed to what Jen showed. No, I'm just joking. What if I was team Jen Shah?
What if you were like, edgelord opinion?
I will say, look, unfortunately, she will get the jail time because she's a woman of color, and they're not gonna fuck around. They are gonna give her that jail time. It's gonna be unfortunate, but you know what? Teresa from Real Housewives of New Jersey was able to start back on the show after she served her time. So Jen, trust me, you'll be back, honey. Don't worry about it. Serve your time. Maximum sentence 30 years. Whatever. You know you'll make yourself look cute in jail. You always do.
In a way, it guarantees you'll be back on the show. Teresa became the main character of Real Housewives of Jersey through her jail stint. I just think most rich people money launder, and they also go on reality television shows.
You know what? I actually think it's a little. I think if you are actively creating scams, going on a reality TV show that kind of flaunts how much money you have,
they can't stop. They can't resist.
I don't know about you. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
They want to get found out. They're trapped in a Kafka-esque reality prison of their own making. No, they're all idiots, is what I think.
Yeah, they're all idiots. That's perfect. Yeah.
Somebody said also that they can't believe that Jen went down before Mary.
Yeah.
Crosby from Real Housewives.
Well,
who is clearly also in a religious cult scamming type situation.
But she's more emotionally abusing people for their money by like gripping on to like their religious needs versus just like, I guess, lying through paperwork, which is more traceable than what Mary's doing.
I just assumed, maybe I'm just incredibly naive, but I just thought her business must be just tricking people into giving her money to put on big events. You know, it didn't occur to me. I was just like, oh, her husband's a coach. Like they live in a giant chalet.
Yeah.
My favorite house that they maybe don't really live in.
Yeah, rumors said that not rumors, I think they came out and asked her, it was rented, and she's like, it's normal to rent a house during ski season or whatever.
Also, not to blow anyone's mind or anything, but almost every reality television show house is not the real house that the people live in. I'm not just talking about The Bachelor, where obviously they don't really live in whatever is called like Millencolin Manor.
The mansion, yeah.
The weirdest, most haunted Pennsylvania
Nemacolin, the resort. Yes. They normally do it in a I'm sorry, I cut you off. They normally do it in a mansion in like Calabasas area, which people own and live in, but they move out of like every time they film in there, when they did before the pandemic.
How much do you think the Bachelor Mansion Airbnb's for?
Oh, I think they actually Airbnb'd it for like maybe like $1,000, and I can't recall. But yeah, they did actually start Airbnbing it, I think, because they stopped filming there during the pandemic and the family like probably wanted some cash.
Well, the Kardashians are always selling houses that they don't actually live in. Not just because they're also real estate scammers. And I urge you all to check out Kate Raff's Twitch show, Hot and Rich, where she exposes a lot of the holes in the Kardashians' finances that they don't advertise, but that she believes the Kardashians are just a lot more broke than they want us to think, which I think is probably true.
Well, I mean, we learned that Kylie was kind of flubbing her finances for the Kylie Cosmetics,
yes,
right?
But Kate also uncovered that Kylie was posting all these photos in a mansion that she had allegedly just bought but then that she didn't actually live there. It was like a favor to the developer that she and Kris Jenner had done some kind of deal to like flip this house by being like, look, Kylie Jenner lives here, but she didn't live there. She just went there like every day and did photo shoots.
Oh, that's weird. All right. Well, God, that's dark. Okay. Ooh, the possum one says, I would love to see the Below Deck Captains group chat on the Ever Given boat that's stuck in the Suez Canal. I mean, I think Captain Lee's probably like, God damn it, who told them they could turn around in that canal? Oh, these fucking idiots. Aren't they quiet on the, what is it? The radio? I don't know. He's probably pissed. I mean, who else? Glenn's like, no, hee. And Captain Sandy's probably micromanaging the boat in some way. I don't know.
I feel like Glenn would be like, that's why it's good to be small.
Yeah. I told you not to get such a big cargo boat.
The boat is like Jean-Luc.
Mm-hmm.
It can't fit anywhere because it's too big.
Yeah. Possum one also says, I worked in a doggy daycare and we definitely joked about full moon when the dogs were acting crazy. Doesn't affect them, but def some. Yeah, dogs.
Also gonna say, I believe in like very few things. I don't really believe in astrology, but I do believe in the power of the moon.
Yeah.
And I do think it makes animals crazy. And I also think animals can tell when there are going to be earthquakes.
Oh, for sure.
And they start
For
acting
sure.
weird. But they also act weird all the time. So sometimes they're just being regular weird.
Yeah.
It's not an earthquake.
Let's see. Coot on the Cob says, Jen Shah scamming old people is not surprising at all. I agree. McConnor Talk says, what if Stuart, the assistant, is the puppet master? I mean, doesn't he seem like too old to be an assistant? I mean, maybe I'm being ageist, but like, he didn't feel like an assistant. He definitely felt like a business partner of some kind, but he got to like drive her around in her like fancy cars. So maybe he is an assistant, but it's just everything about that relationship always seemed odd to me. So now learning they're just like, he's her assistant and they're just like scamming partners makes more sense to me.
They're all just scammers.
Yeah. Let's see. Coot on the Cob said, I read that some of her assistants were also fed plants, allegedly. I heard some of her assistants have also said she's very abusive. So I don't know if that meant verbally or physically. I hope not physically, but wow. So I think more stuff's going to start coming out about Jen Shah, which is not favorable. But I don't understand what people think when in 2021 or even 2020, whenever that was filmed, you're dealing with rich people or fake rich people who are dying to appear rich.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like what people fight about also on Housewives a lot is like who's pretending to be rich. But
I got it. Coot on the Cob said fed as in federal, as in like federal agent plants as her. Oh my, are you saying those agent? Oh, it's a sting? I'll do your makeup as I listen to you scam and then like report back to the federal government. That's amazing, Coot on the Cob. I hope that's real because holy shit. What a scam.
Snitches?
The scammer got scammed.
Snitches on Bravo?
I know. We're
going to talk about snitches on Bravo today.
That's right. Ina Chapter says, I never thought he was her assistant.
You know, I thought he was someone that she hired to play her assistant on the show. Didn't occur to me he could have been someone the federal government hired to play her assistant in real life. Like that person that they send to be best friends with Adriana Serva.
Yeah.
Sopranos. They really do that. Wow.
That's amazing. Well, all right, we've diverted. Sorry, we had to get some other Bravo news talk out of the way.
A lot of boat talk in the atmosphere.
A lot of boats, a lot of scams. All right, let's talk. Yeah, okay, we're talking. Actually, before we start, what are you drinking today?
Tonight, I am taking it a little easy.
Okay.
I got some. I'll be honest with you. I looked at the caramel coffee Coke and it made me kind of ill just looking at it.
Okay.
Like I put it in my cart and then I took it out because I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't have to do violence to myself today.
No.
So instead, I'm drinking a different Coca-Cola product that I've never tried before. It's called AHA, and it's caffeinated seltzer.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
believe?
AAHA. Oh, I've never heard of that. I think
I
I've
never heard of it
seen
either. I was like, I'm a little tired. I could use a little pep
Yeah.
for Chief Sue's, but I don't. What if I don't want to burn my teeth off with sugar
Mm-hmm.
and coffee and caramel? I'll try this out. So I'm trying it out.
Understandable.
Very good.
I'm drinking a horrible concoction. It's a Diet Coke. I am also tired and needed a little pick-me-up.
Is it just a straight Diet Coke, no whipped cream on top?
No, there's a little bit of whipped cream. I didn't put
Okay,
as
it
much as
looked
I
like it.
normally do because the whipped cream makes it like funky.
It really looks like an espresso martini.
It
This
does
week.
because I actually let it sit for too long.
Let's cheers. Let's cheers with that. Cheers with my invisible glass. Cheers. Ooh,
Woo!
clink.
Clink, 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 clink. We hope everyone's having a nice fake cocktail as they watch.
Hope so.
Let's bring these cocktails to the beach, baby, on a broken tender.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. So yeah, we're talking Below Deck Sailing, season 2, episode 5. A lot to talk about. A lot of interesting things happened. Oh, well, we continue with the guests. They're upset by dinner going out at different times. Natasha's like, I can't get everything out at once with 9 people, and they all want different things. And it's, the guests aren't happy. They're not happy with Natasha. Which actually, should we tell people, one of the main primary actually reached out to us.
Unbelievable.
Shocking. So I want to give a shout out to Barry Druitt Barlow. Thank you for tweeting at us. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I hope we were not too harsh because we are out of our minds. And
Yeah, thank you, Barry.
so shout
I
out
think
to Barry.
understands he's playing a character on Below Deck, which not every charter guest does. Or maybe he's like that in real life. I don't know. Tell us, Barry.
It
Are
felt
you like
like
this
Barry
all the time?
had very high standards from what he expected on this boat, mostly from the food. Which, you know what, Natasha, she fits in perfectly with the kind of below deck chefosphere. She is
100%.
just as like ready to slit your throat as any other chef that's ever been on this show.
They all want to slit your throat, but I understand it's because it's really hard conditions to make food under for a bunch of really bossy people always. I do think Natasha's job is significantly harder than all of the other yacht chefs because she has the smallest kitchen and the least burners. And so people demanding that everything come out at the same time is like pretty impossible.
Yeah, I don't really know how that would work unless they were keeping things like she would have to like cook things and then like keep them in a sort of heated environment. If that's, I don't really know. Like I don't know if there's room
People
to cook
do that.
everything
It's
at
like
once.
you keep things in warmers, but it's like they wouldn't want her to be like microwaving it before she brings it. And if
that's
it's
a
something
Mila
that has
move,
to be,
classic Mila move.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I
just
also
nuking
think
it.
some people are piling on Natasha because they are snitches.
Yeah, whoa, we will get to Miss Snitch. So, the next morning at breakfast, Saffron says, Barry asks Saffron what she would do if he proposed to Scott and they got married, and she said, I will never call him dad. He will never be my stepdad. And I was like, look at Barry hinting at a potential marriage. I was about to say marriage agreement. What are they called?
Right, like Is that what the trip is for?
I think, well, it's also one of the people's birthdays. I'm actually blanking on whose birthday it is.
Yeah, I like how
Someone's
Saffron was
birthday.
like, I will never call him daddy except in the sexual way when I was dating
Yeah.
him before you.
Yeah. Which is, that's understandable. You don't have to call him daddy. I mean, he's your stepfather, but even so, like, he's your ex, so whatever. So Barry's really annoyed with Natasha, and he says they should have brought their own chef, and he wants to punish Natasha by making her bring lunch to the beach for a picnic. But Daisy's actually able to talk him out of it.
Yeah, and then he wants sandwiches.
Right. We should also talk about how so there let's okay. So there was a poached egg situation. So for breakfast,
Yes.
Barry asks for poached eggs. Natasha makes the poached eggs, but she makes like, now I understand if you say poached eggs, it's like an eggs Benedict, so you think hollandaise sauce. That's fine, whatever. But the amount of hollandaise sauce that was on this plate was offensive. It was a soup of hollandaise sauce. I've never seen that much.
I don't think if somebody orders poached eggs that you immediately go to Eggs Benny unless
Right.
they ordered Eggs Benedict.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was some confusion in that regard, which I'm willing to let slide. But the fact that she's souped up with hollandaise is a problem.
It's also just like we know he's very particular. If he asked for poached eggs, just give him poached eggs a la carte like he wants.
Yeah. Jackson Cable TV says also, or excuse me, Jack, I know you asked us to call you Jack. Also, Eggs Benedict has an English muffin. Yeah.
Someone says, do people normally eat poached eggs just plain? Is that common? It's common with me. In the before times when I went to diners, I often order a side poached egg. And normally you can only get Eggs Benedict like on the weekends at most egg restaurants. So I definitely would ask more questions if I wasn't sure. If I was Natasha, I wouldn't just jump to like throw a heap of mayo sauce on there because
a soup of
I
it.
don't know if he wants that.
I have never ordered poached eggs before, so I really can't comment. But I have ordered Eggs Benedict and have never seen that level of hollandaise sauce on anything.
I feel like I've seen it on a cooking show because it's like anything. It's like, yeah, it's got to be, the ratio's got to be correct. You don't want too much of any one part of that over, but especially sauce, which, sauce is good, but too much sauce can be bad.
It was drowning in hollandaise sauce.
He's drowning in sauce. He didn't want it. We know that he is extremely picky about everything.
Yeah.
And she had just said, that if someone asked for no onion, she wouldn't force onion on them. So I was surprised that she, again, kind of doubled down on her choice to make hollandaise sauce that nobody asked for.
Yeah. Well, Barry was not pleased, thus wanting to punish Natasha.
Not further. Pleased.
But whatever. They go to the beach for a beach picnic. And then they ask for... So basically, they set it up where they're like, we want to have lunch at 1:30, but we're going to go to the beach before that. And then we'll come back and have sushi for lunch. One I thought was really funny was Barry had the kids like racing, swimming to the beach, and he kept being like, whoever gets there first gets a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes or something like that. And
that
Gary
was crazy.
Shook.
He was like, my kids will do anything for a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes.
Yeah.
Would you do it? Would you humiliate yourself in front of me for just a mere material possession? Well, you're not like me kids then.
Yeah. And they, I forget who won. I think Aspen won, something like that.
There's also a very horrible part where he's like, says to one of the sons, like, enjoy your meal because you're going to fat camp when we get home. And I was like, oh, man.
Oh, my God. I forgot that happened.
Like, just doing that to that kid on TV. Poor kid.
Yeah, so they do take him, they go to the beach, and McConnor Talk says, jumping ahead, but that beach setup was so sad. Where were the drinks and snacks, the shade and towels? Right, so One, notoriously, beach picnics, useless. They never go well. People are always unhappy. They always forget something. It's always a mess. Stop with the beach picnics. But this was like a half beach picnic. Because apparently they didn't want the food on the beach, so they're gonna come back and eat. But they get there with their chairs and their like umbrella that's not up because there's doesn't appear to be a ton of sun. I don't know.
That is like the setup that you know something's going to go wrong. It's like when they do restaurant wars on Top Chef. You're just like, okay, someone's going to have a really bad day today because this never goes right. I do understand why people want to do it. It's like they set up a little private beach on a beautiful island for you to have lunch on. And it's like one of the times they get off the boat
Right.
on these charters where they can't really get off the boat. But yeah, again, you're just at the mercy of the elements. It's like the wind, the water levels, forgetting to bring stuff from the boat is a big one that always screws people up. This time, it was a deus ex machina of sorts.
Right, because Daisy naturally convinced them not to bring any food. But then when they get there, they're like, well, what the fuck? Can we get some cocktails and sandwiches? And can we push lunch an hour? Because this is kind of like whatever. Like they're just sitting at the beach and not doing anything. Because
he's like, I'm done humiliating my children.
Yeah, Jack says that was weak
What's
spread.
left?
They couldn't even get a Bluetooth speaker. I agree. It felt like nothing was going on. Like they just went and put him on a beach to sit.
Yeah, it felt, again, it's like, you know, these people have high standards and are exacting. Like, you should be going out of your way to make some tablescapes. Just because it's the sailing yacht doesn't mean we're not, you know, keeping some fun accessories around.
Yeah, make a bonfire. Anything. Like, it was just so, like...
Anything.
Ugh. But in that time, the tender breaks because burst hydraulic line. I don't know. There's oil everywhere. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that tender.
And the charter guests got hungry.
Yeah.
Underestimated how long it would take them to get hungry and demanded sandwiches
and cocktails,
which they should have just asked for in the first place because they were having a beach picnic. They should have brought food.
Yeah, it was a mess because it's like, why? Okay, so you don't want to have lunch, but why not bring snacks? Like a spread, like a cheese board, anything. You could bring snacks. But they didn't do that. It wasn't well planned. So anyway, it takes the tender apparently like them about like 55 minutes to an hour to bring food back. So it's not great. And when they do bring the sandwiches finally, Barry's not impressed that it's just like ham and cheese on like white bread. He's like, what the fuck? So
I don't understand why they're so far from the beach picnic. Shouldn't the boat be close to where they are so they can just like...
Well, I don't even know. Sydney has to like paddleboard all the food and drinks out because the tender's broken. But like...
Because this episode's really about the humiliation of Sydney.
Oh, God, Sydney. Sydney, I feel like they're going to make this whole season about humiliating Sydney for like the worst person, which is Gary.
Because she made the worst choice of all the people hooking up on the boat. And now she's being punished for it, and she sort of understands that it's her own fault.
Yeah.
But there is a great scene this week where she like walks in again on Gary flirting with Allie instead of her. And
she wakes up to it. She doesn't even walk into it. She wakes up to it.
And then she has to go clean the deck. And she's like...
That's miserable.
She said it's like cleaning the pitch or something.
The peak.
Like,
oh no, the teak. The teak.
The teak. Yeah. She was like, well, it kind of sucks. Like everybody else gets to hang out during normal times and I have to go like clean the teak at 2 a.m. But it's also that she walked in on the guy she likes flirting with the girl he clearly likes more than her.
Yeah.
Late at night, like as they're getting ready to turn in, and then she has to go fucking work all night.
Yeah, she's on the late
shift.
Late shift sucks, notoriously.
Have you ever worked an overnight job?
On set, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When I was PAing, that sucked. I had one really terrible one that I like legitimately. I thought, I was like, why is everyone so awake? And I'm like dying and I'm like drinking coffee. And then later I learned like, I think the director was doing cocaine.
Well, I was going to say.
I was like,
a Hollywood movie?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. What the fuck?
Cocaine on a Hollywood production?
I think I was too tired to put 2 and 2 together, but literally like 3 days later, one of the like 80s was like, oh, he's got a serious coke problem, and I was like, oh my god,
Oh,
duh.
gotcha. Makes sense.
LA's the worst.
Yeah, I worked some overnight shifts at Trader Joe's that were like
Oh.
the like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m.
And that's like
shift.
stocking like stuff.
Yeah, like
Okay.
stocking stuff overnight. It's like everyone has to do it every once in a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just are kind of, it's like you're in a casino. You're just like unaware of what it's like outside, except that when you walk out at the end, you're like, ah.
Well, I mean, I imagine like being up all night on a boat is probably kind of eerie, and then on top of that, you're just like cleaning the whole time.
Yeah. Being the only
like it.
person awake on the boat must be scary. 'cause,
Yeah, I don't
the
like
ocean,
that.
The ocean's awake.
Ugh, the ocean has secrets, and I don't care for it. Because what if you get like pirates come?
The ocean has
No, thank
secrets.
you.
The ocean is just like Jen Shah.
Yeah, secrets.
The ocean launders its secrets.
Well, yeah. So, Barry's. Oh, well, actually, let's go to the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. McConnor Talk says their tip at the end of this charter is going to be $2. Probably at this point. Kun on the Cob says after he asked for basic sandwiches, he complains. Did he ask for? I can't remember exactly what he said. I thought he just said sandwiches. So, I mean, in that end, it's like you do get what you get because it's Natasha and you've already kind of pissed her off, so she's not going to go above and beyond for you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect if you say sandwiches?
The possum one says Barry isn't impressed with anything, but I would be annoyed by everything but the sandwiches. Okay. And then at least when it came to the beach picnic and the eggs. Okay, all right. I would if I had gotten that and I'd asked for poached eggs and you delivered a soup of hollandaise to my table, I would be like, come on, what the fuck? I don't want a soaked egg.
Yeah, I mean, I think he also understands that his role on the show is to be like little Lord Fauntleroy and test the capacities. It's like when they send in, it's like the undercover boss show. It's like he's there to see if everyone's really doing their job by being like the worst example of people asking for things. But I do think I watched it twice actually, and the second time I was like, he's not even being that annoying. They are kind of like Gary, especially, is like, doesn't really want to work very hard. Just kind of wants to hang out with Colin.
Right. Well,
and so they're, they were saying like Daisy was trying to argue about, because she's being an annoying type A person, but she was like, it's annoying to be like the only person trying to like be the mom and yell at people to do stuff. Like nobody likes that person. And Gary's being the boss that's trying to be like buddies with the other Deckies.
Yeah.
So like he's not at all doing what like Eddie, who's also kind of like stick up his ass, but like cares more about the job clearly. He's not doing the thing of being like, how can I help? Let me jump in and like help with the wait service if you need extra hands, which they clearly do. So I do think it's like reveals that the chain of command is fractured.
No, I agree. Gary is a dipshit. He's like a broseph dipshit. Just
we love him.
Stick up his ass like in the
Gaza.
Yeah, but like also like kind of
similar to other people we've had on the show who clearly just want to be on a yacht and don't actually want to be working, which relatable, who wants to be working on a boat. But the people on the deck at least get to see the ocean. It's the stews that I really feel bad for, because they're just like toiling, making beds
in laundry
with the windows blacked out. Yeah, like that sucks. Like,
yeah,
Gary could at least do a better job of pretending to want
I
to
think
do his
Gary
job.
works hard and he's like good at what he does, but he's like an asshole when it comes to like he's like a chauvinist in a way. Like he doesn't want to help the women. He doesn't understand why he needs to. When they were like, dress up, he was like, why would I dress up like a woman? I don't want to do that.
He's like a chauvinist, but he's also clearly just trying too hard.
Yeah.
He does seem to have kind of a little guy persona in a different way than Glenn, where it feels like he's overcompensating in a way that Colin and Jean-Luc both don't do because they are more secure in their masculinity. It's like he knows he's a weird little dude, and so he's trying to be like the number one guy in the group, and it seems like nobody else actually thinks he is the number one guy in the group, even though he's being the most aggressive about hooking up.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you polled the ladies, they would all K him in an FMK scenario. Although I guess Sydney likes crazy.
I guess Sydney likes him, and Allie seems to be okay with him too.
I don't think Allie likes him. I think Allie's flirting with him because she's just flirtatious and
Right.
Australian. I think
Yeah.
she's just a bogan.
She's a bogan.
Like, maybe they do have similar personalities because he's a little bogany too. But I think it's more like,
He's a
I think
bogan
maybe
from South Africa.
I think maybe he thinks they're flirting and she thinks they're just being like friendly coworkers.
Right.
I don't think she's like
Yeah.
finds him sexually threatening. So it's like,
It does
it's
feel
sort
like
of all
he's
just
more
fucking
into
fun.
it, and she's just kind of like she's just like entertaining herself.
yeah, exactly. It's like he wants to talk to her all the time and she's bored.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
And
I
she's
think if
her grandpa
yeah.
just died, so she's just like,
and her grandpa just died. But I do think if he made a move on her, she'd be like, ew.
well, she kind of said it's not happening because he already hooked up with Sydney, and she's just like not into that.
Right, which also like diffuses the situation. It's like she can flirt with him and it's like obvious that it's not going to lead to anything. But it's not
Mhm.
obvious to him because he is a dum-dum.
He's a bogan. So yeah, the guests come back from their beach picnic after being stranded because they finally come. So Glenn has to call another tender to come over until theirs is fixed. So the tender comes, picks them up, brings them back. They're ready for lunch. They get
Let's
their
talk about
sushi.
that though. That was amazing because we got to see something we didn't know we could, which is Captain Glenn get really mad.
Yes, Glenn, little Glenn was like swearing up a storm. He was so pissed. They kept bleeping him, and even Gary's like, "Wow, I've never seen Glenn so angry." And he's just like, "God damn it, fuck!" He was turning into
He was furious
Lee, Captain
because
Lee.
the tinder was like going to scrape the boat.
Yeah,
And so he was furious because I think he'd be on the line for the repairs
Well,
if they
he-
scrape the boat.
he
So
said
he
it
was like,
a new paint
fuck
job.
no.
New
Yeah,
paint
like
job.
we just painted the boat and you're scraping the boat. God damn it. He just lost his temper, which we've never seen him do because we definitely the most. Ooh, somebody followed us.
That scared the shit out of me. Glenn, so yeah, those new paint jobs, he's pissed. And like, he literally is like, everyone needs to step it up because things are going wrong. And I really need my department heads to get their shit together or there's going to be hell to pay. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
like,
Glenn, repeat
huh?
that. Are you out of your mind?
I was like, Glenn has a dark
I
side.
know. Shocking.
But again, it's like all the captains, their dark side, like the chefs, like all of the chefs, are hair trigger for the one thing that chefs should be thick-skinned about, which is like criticism about their food or
Mhm.
how fast it comes out or whatever. All of the captains, it's like when nature interferes with the boat, they get so mad, and it's like you're getting mad at either a machine for malfunctioning
Mhm.
or like nature for just being itself. You can't like
They have no control over it, but they still
yeah,
get so
man,
pissed.
the ocean's not going to be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. They
You're
get so
right.
pissed. And, actually, I thought it was interesting because Colin did get a storyline this episode, which was that he
Love
had
Colin.
to fix the tender.
Yeah, he got to do something. He's very good as a character for somebody who's not in the love game.
Mm-hmm.
He's just funny and cool. And again, I think it's like he can, because he has a girlfriend and it's like known that he's off the market, he can sort of interact with anybody however he wants,
Just not in the
except for
hot
getting
tub.
in the hot tub.
Not in the hot tub. Anywhere
Not
else on the boat,
in the hot tub.
he can talk to anyone. In the hot tub, hold on. In the hot tub,
Is it just if there's girls in it, or is it just like period ever? Like, could he get in the hot tub with Gary? Would that be allowed?
Yeah,
Gary
I
would
think
be
that'd
way
be
more
allowed.
likely. Gary would probably be more likely to grab your dick than any
But
of the girls.
Gary seems like the kind of guy who'd be like, I'm not getting in a hot tub with another guy.
What am I? A guy who gets in hot tubs with other guys and enjoys feeling the soothing bubbles, relaxing my muscle tension?
Yeah, he seems just problematic enough to
I
like
totally agree. I totally agree.
have
But on the
some-
other hand,
yeah.
he wears a lot of loincloths in his personal life,
He's
as
a
we've seen on
loincloth guy.
Instagram. He's a loincloth guy because he's like a Disney's Tarzan.
Yeah. Poor
He's definitely
man's
comfortable
Disney's
with his
Tarzan.
own body. But yeah, maybe just being comfortable with your own male body doesn't mean that you are comfortable enough to sit around with other guys in a hot tub,
Mm-mm.
which means you're not that cool.
You're not
You're
that cool.
missing out on a hot tub.
You're not that comfortable with your sexuality enough to just live life.
Yep. See what happens. Let
Well,
it happen.
Shout
It
out
happens
to Angry Glenn and Working
Shout out
Colin.
to Angry Glenn. Shout out Colin doing his job.
Yeah.
Shout out Steven Soderbergh. Come on our show.
Come on our show,
And
Steven.
we'd love to know what you think about Gary.
Oh, we would absolutely just adore that. Oh, Coon on the Cob says Captain Glenn was an angry elf. He was. It's like when the Keebler tree cookie factory, something goes wrong, and then all of a sudden he's just pissed. That's what happened. He was not happy. Something happened at the Keebler elf factory, and he was angry. The paint got scratched on the tree they live in.
Maybe a
Not
big boat
working.
came and blocked. Maybe the boat that carries the cookies to the tree got stuck
Got blocked because
between trees.
it's behind
boat-
the what is it, the Ever Given Green whatever. in the
Yes,
Suez
it travels on the Suez Caramel Canal,
Canal. Aww.
which is the Candyland Canal that
Yeah.
I think a lot, just thinking a lot about the dynamics of trade in Candyland, Keeblerville.
Huge. I mean, it was a devastation to the Candyland economy. Devastation.
Those cookies aren't going to eat themselves.
Someone has to eat them. It's like all the little elves stuck on the boat forever. Okay, so yeah, the guests come back early and have their sushi, and there was a really funny moment where Natasha comes out to be like, what do we make? Like, I'm making whatever, a caprese salad, some lobster for dinner. And Scott's like, I'll take some chicken tenders and fries. And Natasha is like going to kill someone.
Yeah. Well, they keep also asking for all different things. So when she explains it, where she's like, the problem is I can't plate all of their potatoes at once because they ordered every different kind of potato. They ordered French fries and mashed potatoes and boiled potatoes and potato pancake, which is true. She can't, there's just physically not enough burners in the kitchen to do more than like 4 things at once. So she physically cannot cook like 9 entrees at once. And they are not understanding of that. Because I think also if you're the guest on this, you're just like, it's magic. There's a magic kitchen down there and the elves bring me food and I don't know how it gets made.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of disregard that there's just one chef down there just hustling everyone's
But I
meals.
do think also if Gaza
Stepped it up.
would help, they could probably get the food out faster.
Yeah, well, yeah. There was a funny moment after they had lunch, their sushi, which they seemed to enjoy.
That they were like, oh, it's good actually.
Yeah.
Oh, but also sushi you can serve all at once because it's cold. You can fit it all in the refrigerator until you need to get serving. But like serving 8 steaks at once that are all just cooked, impossible.
Especially at all different types. What is it? Styles? No, levels? What are like medium rare, whatever. Bloody.
Yeah.
Bloody.
Blue
But
dye.
after lunch, Glenn gets the boat ready to sail, and he's like, the guests are gonna love this. We're going sailing. Barry wanted to go sail, and then they all just like go in their cabins and hang out and don't really acknowledge the sailing at all.
They don't care. The only people that are ever excited about the sailing are the captains.
Or the like sailing people who are like, my
Right.
father loved sailing.
When I was growing up on a boat, commenter Tom Cares Too Much says, did they just take the tender from the production crew boat?
Probably.
Great question. Wouldn't be surprised.
It got there so fast. Well, I guess he said like a half hour, but it still felt like it got there pretty fast.
And then McConnor Talk says, was the sushi lunch just salmon? I
Yes.
swear I didn't see any other fish.
I believe so, yes.
Maybe?
It looked
seem
like
the kind
hundreds of
people who
pieces.
are like, give us sushi. We only like salmon.
And chicken
But
tenders.
they were also, they thought the burrata was weird on the caprese salad.
Right,
were
yeah.
like-
So for dinner, they have like this drag theme party, dinner party, and the kids don't understand the burrata. Like Barry loves it. He's like, it's delicious. And the kids are like, it feels like adult food.
Yeah,
I was
they
like-
use it just to shame Barry for being old, which is their one line of defense against
Yeah.
their dad, is to be like, only people in their over 30 like this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And I'm like, I love burrata. I'd fuck some burrata up right now.
That's right. But they're like, this is adult cheese. We're
Yeah.
children.
Let's talk about Daisy and Natasha. I think we're at that point where we need to kind of break down their relationship right now. We learned Natasha says she's a perfectionist, so all this like kind of critique from Barry is really hard on her ego. It's bruised her ego, and so she's annoyed. And she's more annoyed when he sends back her poached egg with the hollandaise sauce, and she's like, and Daisy's okay. So this is kind of the start of like Daisy being like, what? Or was this the start? What was the first thing she?
Daisy's just been
Oh.
passive aggressive since day one, I think.
Well, the first thing, so Daisy goes and rats out to Glenn that the guests were upset with the dinner plates coming out at different times. So she tells Glenn that. Glenn's like, yeah, we'll work on it. The second time, she goes and tells Glenn that Natasha put too much hollandaise sauce on the guest's poached egg, which she was like, I knew it. I knew they didn't want any hollandaise sauce. I knew it. They just asked for poached eggs. And she's annoyed that Natasha didn't listen to her. So she goes and like rats Natasha out to Glenn.
Never the correct strategy. If one, but I guess it's like, she's not even your boss. That's the whole thing Natasha likes about being the chef, is that she doesn't have to report to anyone except Glenn.
Yeah.
So it's like she has to interact with Daisy, but like, I do think Daisy would also snitch on her own crew, like Malia
Narc.
snarked on her boss
Yeah.
so she could get her job. Or not
Yeah.
even so she could get her job, just to be a fucking asshole.
Daisy was really stupid to me, because I'm like, what's the issue? She got a plate wrong. She put too much hollandaise sauce. That's not like a end all be all.
If the
Like,
guests aren't so mad about it that they go to the captain, you don't need to be a little like brown noser being like, actually, guess who did a bad job this week? It wasn't me.
yeah, it was weird. It was
if
weird.
you fucked up and you have like if Natasha was like, hey Glenn, I gotta tell you I fucked up this week. If we get like a bad tip, that's why. Like, that's smart. That's covering your ass. But this was some Malia behavior from Daisy.
It was not good. She's the new Malia. She's the new narc. Sorry. Maritime law says you're the new
Sorry.
narc.
Maritime law says Daisy has replaced Malia as the number one maritime narc.
Number one maritime narc. Oh, we have we haven't seen this person before. Brooklyn says Malia is a cop. I agree, Brooklyn. She is a cop, because every 5 minutes she's like, the thing you need to understand about maritime law is... And it's like, shut the fuck up,
Maritime
Malia.
law. Let people smoke weed at sea.
Or just like, look, my thing is, and look, yes, I will be kicked off a boat in seconds because I'm a monster. But if I am interacting with Hannah and Hannah's not really, she's not acting high as fuck, then I'm not concerned.
She's not the captain. I understand having a rule that's like the captain can't be high. A doctor, a boat doctor, a thing they don't have can't be high. Even an engineer, I understand, like maybe the engineers can't be high. For the record, the engineers are probably mad high
Engineers
all
seem
the time.
stony, yeah. But like
Yeah.
also, to me, it's like, yeah, I get it. If an incident happens and they drug test everyone, it's the end of the world. The boat's getting towed. Captain Sandy's losing her license. Drama, drama, drama. And it's like, yeah, but it's like,
It's like if she's high on her time off,
I'm sorry.
she can do the job and you don't know she's high, except that you are a narc who went into her bag to find her CBD pen.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, who does that to anyone?
Well, it wasn't in her bag. It was just sitting in her.
But she took a photo.
Yeah, the
like a
photo
psycho.
is really weird. The photo's weird because she has it out on the toilet. It's in the toilet, and she takes a photo as she's moving out of the room.
Like, why wouldn't she just go? Still mad about it. I'm still so mad. I just feel like it's also a thing you see in the workplace where somebody's like a huge asshole and it like helps them
yeah.
advance, and you're like, no.
This is
Be punished for being an asshole.
never.
Captain Glenn should say like,
Not when you're a
"Hey,
cute white girl. You'll never get punished.
ugh. Captain Glenn should be like, Natasha is your coworker and you have to get along with her, and she's the chef, you're not the chef, so don't backseat cook."
Well, I'd be like, well, okay, does the chef know they fucked up with the hollandaise sauce? They do? Okay, well, that's the chef's problem. They learned. Let's move on. It's not your problem to come tell me.
I think she really has a problem with Natasha's attitude, and she's
Right.
trying to get Captain Glenn to have a problem with it.
Right.
And again, it's like, if the fucking charter guests don't have a problem with Natasha, like, personally, yeah, it just seems like she's trying to make trouble.
Yeah. J Cut says, totally can't believe that they are possibly filming with JWoww. Excuse me, I call him JWoww, but Joao as captain. They wrote, yeah, they had photos on Instagram with speculation. Oh no! Not JWoww. We call him JWoww. JWoww. Fuck that. That guy is insufferable. He's insufferable. He's always like, here is a really traumatic story experience from my past in Zimbabwe. Here's me telling a woman she looks like a sex worker. Here's me being an asshole to people.
To
Here
be
is
fair,
me hooking up with two women at the same time, or
He
like
is-
flirting with both. It's like, don't
He is-
reward him.
he is a classic Below Deck character.
Mm.
He is the most white South African person that's ever been on television.
He's from Zimbabwe.
perhaps.
That's
Ugh.
his whole personality, is that he experienced trauma in Zimbabwe, which I'm not going to lessen that. He has experienced trauma. He's always like, my mom got beaten by an elephant bone. Yes,
His mom got
it's
beaten with an
terrifying
elephant
over
bone.
there. I can't imagine. But
He just
fucking
had
hell.
psycho energy. And yeah, I think a lot of people are on the boat because they're escaping trauma of some kind or another, or just running away from commitment. Those are the two types of people that end up on the boat. So I'd love to see him and Natasha clash, because she's got actual trauma also, and I feel like she could put JWoww in his fucking place.
That's another good poll. Who would win in a fight between Natasha and JWoww? Now you have to disregard the strength aspect. We are talking strictly just the level of like anger and sass that they could bring to a situation. Who would win? You can't say strength, because technically, yes, JWoww might win because whatever, he might be bigger than her. But if we were going head to head, strength was not an issue or a factor in it. Who would win between Natasha and JWoww? Because I think they're both headstrong. And
I think Natasha, I think
Interesting.
Natasha's got it. I think she's got secret knives on her person at all time.
that's pretty cool.
As
Secret
any
knives
good
is
chef
cool.
should, you know?
Okay, let's take it to the chat. Jay Kutka, sorry you are a woman. Sorry about that. I will call you she. Good to know. Coon on the Cob says JWoww is even good TV. I don't get it. Ina Chapter says elephant bone. Of course, elephant bone, elephant bone, elephant bone. We gotta do it in his accent. Oh, Jay Kutka says I had her and I think Bugsy. Oh,
Right. I do think I knew they were filming a season and that Bugsy was involved again.
right.
Queen of Tablescapes.
I ordered her
And we'll-
book. I never got it. I pre-ordered her book. I never got it. I hope it comes soon. I will
NYC
have to
Jessa
do.
says Natasha JWoww is a little bitch.
JWoww is a little
Agree.
bitch, but then
Agree.
some. The possum one says still JWoww. Jay Cookett says there's some rage in there. Possum one says he's on a hair trigger. Yeah, Coon on the Cob says chef energy can't be met. So Natasha, it's tough because she seems like they've both been through some serious trauma. So like they'll step up.
I'm always betting on the chef. I
Yeah.
think the chef's chaotic energy
Yeah, good point.
surpasses anyone else on the boat in any given season.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Oh my God, McConnor Takra. Oh, that's hilarious. Sorry, can I have this? Let's see what Connor Talk wrote. Remember when Joel snapped a wine glass in half at dinner because he was so mad at Hannah? That is terrible. I recall that because she was telling, I think, Brooke that she should be careful with him because he's flirting with whatever. I don't know. She's just being like, fuck that guy. Or, I don't know. Maybe she wasn't. I don't know. They were talking. But JWoww was so pissed. He snapped
She was just
the
like,
glass.
he's got a weird energy.
Yeah.
He's a little intense. And he was like, you think I'm intense? Ah.
But doesn't even say anything. He's just like, in a fancy restaurant, if I recall. And it was fucking crazy. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Oh.
was crazy. And it was like, oh, you think I'm intense? Like, I'll fucking strangle you.
The possum one also says Rachel would beat his ass. Yeah, Rachel could like curb stomp someone.
Then they said Rachel would beat everyone's ass. Okay, what about for our second bout in the below deck Vegas
our Vegas
fight night?
fight nights.
Our Vegas fight night.
Anna and Molly's Vegas Chief Stew fight nights.
What about just like a bracket of chefs, of all the chefs,
That's a dangerous game we're playing.
and just see who it comes down to? I feel like it would come down to Ben and Rachel.
No, I think it would. Well, Ben is just goofy enough, though.
love
Just goofy
Ben.
enough. Leon, you're right, NYC Jessa. Leon. It would come down to Leon and Rachel. Natasha versus Ben. Adam is also Coon on the Cob. Adam is also a wild card, guys.
They're all all wild cards.
But also Mila. We can't forget about Mila because she's Siberian. That's another level of like, I don't know what's going on there.
They all bring different levels and skills. They're like
Oh.
X-Men.
I love Ina Chapter. Matt's the first one out. Yeah, cheddar cheese Matt doesn't stand a chance. Just get his neck snapped by Natasha within seconds, and he's just. Yeah, Tom is NYC Jessa says Tom is simmering with rage. Now where?
Oh yeah. Tom's killed before.
Adrian and Matt. Yeah, Adrian doesn't have a stand a chance. Unfortunately, Kiko doesn't stand a chance.
Mila definitely qualifies for extra congeniality points.
God,
Tom is a wimp, says Brooklyn. Agree.
Tom.
But no, I think he's got, again, just like American Psycho.
You guys are killing me. Someone wrote, or in a chapter wrote, Kiko tripped on his way to the ring.
Oh, Kiko. Kiko couldn't hurt a fly. Kiko is kind.
He is pure. He's
Jacker
he
on Cable
trips.
TV says Adam strikes me as a hold me back kind of
Oh,
fighter.
for sure.
100%. 100%.
Nailed
There's
it.
no way he's still, that pretty in the face and hasn't gotten punched in it yet.
Anastasia.
I don't know who he is.
I don't know if Anastasia counts because she only stepped in for a brief period of time.
Mila versus Adams is the possum one.
Mila
And
would
Jay
Mila would
Kuka
cut
says-
Adam's throat though. She seems like
Yes.
she's like like from the back. All of a sudden she's in front of you, then she's behind you. Throat's gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she drops down.
Yeah. Yeah, Kiko can be a ref. Good idea. Well, we can include Kiko, but let's like save him. Let's not.
He's like, I'm Kiko. I made us Brazilian stew.
Muqueca. He can make muqueca for everyone afterward. Family
Mhm.
meal, muqueca.
Bet it's good. I bet it's good.
All right, guys, we digress. Let's finish this. Okay, yeah. So Daisy and Natasha are not getting along because Daisy's being a narc and Natasha doesn't give a fuck. Okay, here's a few things about Jean-Luc we learned in this episode. Not a lot. He thinks American girls are boring. He enjoys flirting with Danny. He does tell Glenn that he's excited about the better bunk. So all that bitching about rooming with Glenn was for nothing, and he's actually getting sleep, and Gary's happy because he's working harder. And the guests are obsessed with him.
Yeah, they want him to serve all their meals.
Yeah.
And dress up in drag for the big dinner.
Right. We'll talk about the big dinner. So, Allie, we learned only one thing about her, which is that she eats a kilo of spinach a week. Don't know what that means.
She's got an addictive personality.
Oh, did
When
she
she
say
likes
that?
doing something, she just can't stop.
Good to know, like flirting with Gary.
Right, and Gary was like, "Oh, what does that mean? Oh, what else do you find addictive? Oh,
You're not your dick. Danny, she's classically still just doing her job. The guests are trying to figure out who she's into on the boat. They asked Jean-Luc as well, and he said Danny, so they're trying to see if she says him. But she's talking to Allie, and she says she was just first playing around with Jean-Luc as a joke, but as time has gone on, she could totally be more into them. She could potentially see where it goes, and she says she's 5'3", and the tallest guy she ever dated was 6'3", and Jean-Luc is a lot taller than that. So how would it work? Who cares?
everyone's
Okay.
the same height horizontally."
I want to
be fun.
talk now. Let's end the episode or the stream talking about the Daisy Gary conundrum of like him not wanting to dress up and her being like, fuck this.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do drag, which is like famously the crew is always called upon to do something that they didn't necessarily sign up for, usually doing some kind of a show or a cabaret for the guests. Most people are game. Sometimes someone will be like, I'm not doing it. I don't want to like put on a wig and like embarrass myself. But it's like they're doing it to show that they own you. That's all it's really about. And then you get a big tip. So you're doing it to increase your tip. And they're going to notice if you don't do it and
Yep.
penalize you. So just fucking do it.
Right. Exactly. It's like I feel like we haven't ever come across a crew member, a male crew member who didn't just do it. Just do it.
I mean, I do think that sometimes they're like, I don't want to be sexualized as part of this job because they're men and they're less used to that being a part of a lot of jobs. They're like, how dare somebody like objectify me and give me money to do so? Which is
Right.
like, why do you think they hired you on this boat in the first place? That's on a TV show.
But like Ashton would say that too, and then immediately strip his shirt off and be like, "Let's give you a
right,
lap
like what? Are
dance."
you afraid you'll like it? Like,
Yeah.
methinks you doth protest too much. And yeah, he does go for it
Yeah.
eventually. It's
Well, he
fine.
does. So Daisy basically gets really upset and like it's just like I'm so upset that I have to keep repeating myself and like it makes me look like a bitch. I have to be the adult. And she just is like yelling at them to shut up and dress up, you know, in their drag and stop complaining. And she's like not impressed because she has to keep bothering them. And she literally goes, the sooner you do it, the sooner it's done and you can like go to bed. And like Gary's trying to make excuses to get out of it. And she is not happy with him.
Do it, Gary.
Yeah, just do it.
Do it. He's probably afraid that the other guys will be prettier women than he is. which they are.
They are.
But
They are.
he, just do it. He does it. It's fine. Making a big deal out of it is like Streisand affecting the fact that you're a pain in the ass. It's like, don't draw attention to how
Yeah.
you're the guy that like won't go the extra mile for your job, and everybody else is trying way harder than you. Why are you in charge of anything?
Right. He's like bitching about nothing in a way, because he's like, he's mad that he has to help out the interior with dishes, and he's like, the interior never helps us out on deck, so we have to do twice the work. And it's like, no, you don't. When you're like done working for the night, you've put everything away.
Right. And again, it's like the stews have to come on deck and serve people with
Yeah.
like a smile and be all like, oh, here's your meal that you've been waiting. Let me tell you all the ingredients, and do all this like performative bullshit. And he doesn't have to do that for the most part. So like, do a little bit. Everyone else is doing way more of it than you. You can suck it up and fucking do it.
But also, it's like, there's 9 people on this charter. They just need help washing dishes to turn around plates and stuff.
Yes. There's just a lot of people, and he doesn't want to do like women's work. Because he loves his mommy, who clearly does all his laundry for him when he's not on a boat.
Well, he's also like pissed that he's like, why am I doing Jean-Luc's job? Because Jean-Luc is in the kitchen or in the galley washing dishes, so he has to like do things. And it's like, dude, get over it. That's like the job. You have to pick up the slack when people need help.
Yeah, exactly. When you're on a crew with lots of people, if there's something that needs to get done, especially if it's just a small boat, everyone's got to pitch in. You can't just be like, I did my exact amount of chores and I'm done now. No, if there's more hours in the day, you're not done, bro.
Yeah, I think he sucks. He's like one of those classic dudes that's just like, why? You're like, go fuck yourself. Just from your tone of your voice, go fuck yourself.
Gaza! Having a laugh. Not doing his responsibilities.
Oh, fuck him. One last thing. Well, maybe 2 last things. Gary. Whatever. You know what? I don't even want to talk about Gary anymore. Fuck him. Whatever. Help out where you're needed. But, other thing. This is the first time I feel like guests have been like, they were so entertaining and so much going on that they were dragged out into 3 episodes. Usually they only last 2 episodes. Yeah, they were
really good plot line. So, shout out to the whole clan.
Yes,
I mean, I think they'd be disappointed if we weren't shocked and appalled by their every move. That is clearly the character they're playing on this episode. I hope they leave a hearty tip.
Well, I also hope they leave a hearty tip. I understand they'll be like, I bet they'll be like, and here's a tip, and next time maybe we'll bring our own chef.
Next time maybe the sandwiches will be on us.
Yeah.
And by which I mean a sandwich of my husband and my boyfriend and my boyfriend's boyfriend and his boyfriend and our daughters.
And the boyfriend's boyfriend's daughter's boyfriend's daughter.
We heard you had grandfather fucking on Bravo shows now, and we wanted to up the ante.
Okay, final question for you. Do you think Danny should pursue this pseudo flirting relationship with Jean-Luc?
I mean, YOLO, right?
YOLO.
But I also think Jean-Luc seems like a gentle giant. He also doth protest too much a little bit about how he's never dated anyone for longer than 2 weeks. It's like he's afraid to lose his heart.
American girls.
American girls are so boring.
Ah!
I love these international women.
I was like, hey man, fuck you. I am pretty boring though.
Oh, but a Brazilian man would think you were alluring.
A Brazilian man would be like, let me get that green card, baby. And I'd be like, okay.
I mean, I kind of saw what he was trying to say. Yeah. He was trying to say, like, opposites attract, or just, like, that he doesn't like boring Southern girls, which is, like, it's true, you know?
Yeah.
That he wanted more for himself. A life of intrigue.
I was talking to this I can't say who, but they're in the athlete realm. I just know them through friends, and I happened to be in a group chat with them talking about a certain sport, F1. And my whole life revolves around F1. And he is, I think, God, I don't want to like out. I mean, there's no way. How would you guys figure it out? He's not in the F1 sport. He's in a different sport. He just happens to be in my group chat of friends. He said he's 23. Okay. I believe he's 23. First of all, Kun on the Cob, I would love to start an F1 podcast. I don't think they will let me. It's
Just
all I talk about.
Let's just make this also an F1 podcast.
Well, you need to watch F1 Drive to Survive
Oh,
and
I'm
get
going
into
to.
it as much as I'm in, because I like actually watch the races now and also follow the news on real time. So I'm like deep in it.
Okay.
And I have the video game, and I bought a driving rig setup. I'm too far in.
Oh yeah, your driving rig setup looks amazing. I like to go fast.
Yeah, it's very fast. I'm not great at it. I don't take the turns well. But I'm practicing, so
Kun on the Cob says, who's your favorite driver?
I
Anna?
have two. Notoriously, because you have to, Lewis Hamilton. You have to love Lewis Hamilton. I mean, what a fucking mensch. Like, what a good person. Number two, I would probably say my number two is Daniel Ricciardo, because he has just such good vibes. Like, he's just like a fun Aussie who doesn't seem to be as like mentally unwell as some of the others who are just too deep in and feeling the pressure like unlike anything else. So yeah, Daniel Ricciardo. I like Carlos Sainz as well, because he has this like weird alluring like Spanish like rich kid like his popped collar while he's playing golf. Like, who are you? So European. I like Carlos Sainz. Yeah, I mean, I like Charles Leclerc. He's not as interesting to me anymore because he wouldn't kneel for Black Lives Matter. So I'm like, well, but his explanation of it made it very clear he just didn't understand. It was really just like, oh, you don't know because you're just some European dude. Yeah, Carlos Sainz is super sexy. Now look at you guys got me talking about F1.
This is amazing. Somebody said, Jack on Cable TV said, stream the driving game.
That's funny. Both Miles Gray and Daniel Goodman from the Daily Zeitgeist are trying to get me to stream it. And
You should do it. Yeah, do it. Let's get it. Let's be
I don't
Twitch
know if I
streamers
could.
who also play video games. I played a truck driving simulation game
cool.
on Jack AM, and it was so fun. It was just like a really boring simulation game where you just drive a truck at the correct speed and you have to drive it for like 100 million miles in real time.
You just drive
So
across the country.
I did it for like an hour and I was like, this is a great. I would love to just be a virtual truck driver sometime.
I would like to stream and play it, but like I can't like talk when I play the game. Like I have to.
You don't have to talk. You just play, and people just watch you play.
I can't like interact because I have to focus so hard on the driving and my speed and my turns. It's really hard to drive that fast and like have it be accurate and also be like number one. I'm always like not number one. Let me just tell you, I'm not number one when I play the game.
This is the life of an F1 driver that you chose, Anna. You wanted to go fast.
I wanted to go fast. Well, anyway, I digress to my original point, which was I was in my group chat talking about F1, and this person who is a pro athlete of some sort. I don't know them very well. They're just in my group chat because that's just the way. Sometimes you got to find who's talking about F1 and just go with it. He said that he's like 23 or 24 around that age, and he was like, I only date women 30 and up because women my age talk too much. I don't really remember how the conversation got into this. I wasn't really responding at this point. I was just like scrolling and reading like, what are they talking about? And I was like, this bitch, he doesn't want to date women his own age because they talk too much?
Wait. So he wants to date women 30 and up because he's 23? Was he just trying to holler at the group text?
No, because like the group text is men and women at all of different ages, but like it was like a weird where the conversation went, but that was what caught my eye, and I was like, what? You're 23. Why do you want to be with a 30-year-old? Maybe he's 24, something
Because
like
that
that.
pussy is experienced.
Yeah, I guess, but it still also
'Cause-
felt like. Also, I think he may have said he was celibate at one point. I was like, "What is this?" It really took a turn.
And he's the professional athlete?
Yeah, maybe he's not celibate. Maybe I just made that up. I feel like someone said something about celibacy, and I just automatically was like, "Is that I just say he's celibate?" But yeah, it was interesting to me because I was like, he's just into older women because they don't talk as much. Like, I feel like that's not really a trait necessarily. It's just like,
well, it's not a
person.
stereotype. It's not. It's funny because it's not something that like people say.
right.
But I'm sure that they believe it.
Yeah, I was
so
like, I talk a ton and I'm 30. Like, I don't know what you think this is.
also like the things that 22-year-olds think about 30-year-olds are also just crazy in general.
Yeah.
The way that anyone is like, people in that age category are like this and we're like this. It's like, no, there's just like cool people and lame people in every category. That's just really funny.
It was really, I was just reading it like, oh God, you're an idiot. But I don't know. It was strange. So I guess he wants to
go fast.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a point where he's like, I'm an old soul. I really hope he never like sees. There's no way, because we're not like friends like that he would ever discover this. But if he ever did, he'd be like, what the fuck? But yeah, he called himself an old soul, which I guess is why he wants to date a 30-year-old who doesn't talk a lot. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny because I was like, what are you talking about? Please, let's get back to F1. I don't want to talk about this, but
I want to talk about.
That's what I think
it
about when
all.
I think of like Jean-Luc. Like, he would be like, I like older women, or like, I don't like American girls because they're boring. It's like, you're just generalizing something that you don't really know.
Yeah. I think it's anything like that is based in a generalization of like what you think a group is like, and like it's kind of harmless and something like that. Like, obviously it's fucked up when it's people doing like having fetishes and stuff, and they're like, I just like this type of person because they're all like this way. That isn't true at all. But when it's like a guy who's 22 thinking older women, sure, let some 30-something ladies get this young athlete D.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, if I read correctly, he might not be celibate. I don't know where I saw the celibate. I gotta go look back this was like a week ago, so I'd have to really scroll up to see what they were talking about. But strange.
Sounds like he has a good relationship with his mom. So
I hope so. I hope he never sees me talking about him. So
yeah, for sure. We can cut this part out of the rebroadcast. This is the bonus.
In the end, there's no way he would discover this, because I don't think he watches Below Deck, and I can't imagine he'd be like, what's this random person in my group chat up to?
Wait until it becomes an F1 podcast and we talk about F1
screwed.
every week too.
Yeah, well, go watch it and we will talk a little about
Okay,
F1
I will
as
watch
well.
it so that we can talk about it. There's also a Steven Soderbergh movie about racing.
Oh, which one?
I've never seen, called Lucky Logan.
Have we seen Lucky Logan? I sounds like I have. Wait, is
I've
that
never
the one
seen
with...
it. It's got Adam Driver in it. His name is Adam Driver.
Oh, yes, I have seen that movie.
I think Channing Tatum's in it too, maybe?
Yes,
I haven't seen it.
And Daniel Craig. They're like robbers, or they're like con men of maybe thieves, maybe something like that. I have seen it. I can't remember exactly what.
I believe there's cars involved.
Yeah, they're racing around. I think Daniel Craig's like a getaway driver of some sort. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember exactly what it was. I need to go watch again. Soderbergh, racing.
Soderbergh, he likes the things we like. He likes boats.
Yep.
He likes cars that go fast.
Yep.
He likes sex, lies, and videotape.
I think he would actually really like F1 Drive to Survive, because it
I'm
is another
sure he
show
would.
about people like working.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he'd also love Deckheads Chief Stews.
Oh, he would love
A
this
Twitch show.
Unbelievable that he's not here.
He'll be here. He's with us in spirit every week.
Shout out Sodi.
We drink sodas.
Yeah, and shout out
and we
Sodi.
summon Steven Soderbergh to this Twitch show. All
right.
Thanks everybody for watching again.
I think there's some. Is there music playing? All right. Well, that's the end of this. We talked about Below Deck Sailing Season 2, Episode 5. Thank you for listening. Thanks for joining us. Please, Jay Cook, I think you had to send us. We need to see some of these photos of JWoww filming with what is it called? Bugsy. I could not remember her name for the life of me. I almost called her table setting. So yeah, send that over. I need to see this with my own eyes to confirm that they're actually going to use JWoww as a captain. NYC Jessa, only 12K tip because nothing came out on time. Ugh.
True.
That's so us. We fucked up.
Wait.
All right. Well, until next week, guys. I'm excited. I'm excited to see if this family actually ever leaves the boat, or if we're gonna be with the Druid Barlows for the rest of the season. They just like never leave.
Wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind.
All right, guys. Thank you. Until next week. Tell your friends. Come watch us if they love Below Deck. Also,
yeah,
hey guys, hit the follow button. If you've been enjoying us, follow us. We have a little thing that pops up when you follow us, and it's a little Clapton Glenn going, you know. So do that. Follow us if you haven't already.
Yeah, and interact with us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter, Deckheads Pod. You can tell us drinks you'd like to see us drink out of martini glasses. Things you'd like to see us talk about other than Below Deck on the show that are Below Deck adjacent. Maybe like a big boat getting stuck, for example. But also F1.
Yeah.
Anna's favorite F1 drivers. I just loved hearing you talk about it.
I have so many thoughts.
All the names were so funny, and like what I imagine the names of international race car drivers would be like.
Oh man. I will say I do think Max Verstappen is a bad person. That's just me though. That's for all my that Max Verstappen haters. Fuck that guy. He took a guy's seat. He took Kvyat's seat and his girlfriend. So
wow. Oh, I can't
not great.
Can't wait to get enmeshed in the world of F1 scandals.
Oh, it's so messy. It's like Real Housewives of F1 because all the team principals are so openly messy. Just so openly messy. Yes, I agree. Keen on the Cob, Nikita Mazepin is trash because if your father basically bought the team for you to be on it, okay, and you literally go way too fast on your first turn and fucking spin out, honey. I it was the third turn. Whatever. Come on, man. You literally, your first race ever after your dad basically bought Team Haas and you spin out so quickly, fool. Get out of here. This is the big dogs. Oh, I'm a mess.
I love it. On that note,
wait, follow us, Deckheads Pod, Instagram and Twitter. Like you said, interact with us. You can email us at deckheadspod@gmail.com. Molly, what's your socials? Where can people find you?
Oh, you can follow me at Twitter /Molly Lambert and on Instagram at Molly_Lambert.
And I'm at Anna Hosty on Twitter. You know, come find us. Talk to us about Below Deck, F1, whatever you want. You can talk to us about anything. All right, we're out of here. How do I get out of here? Oh, here we go.